Game time.
Papa's in the house.
Wow, what's all this?
I'm all about stats. For instance, have I got some numbers for you? Papa John's, a leader in online ordering.
You bet, Jim.
You were the first pizza company to offer it nationwide. What's the secret?
Jim, it's the pizza.
To celebrate our online leadership, get Papa John's new double pepperoni and bacon pizza for just $12.
Better ingredients
Better pizza.
and a better way to get it, papajohns.com.
A man reportedly threw a gun over the Moses Lake Surf and Slide water park fence during a chase in Moses Lake. Prosecutors charged Angel Ramirez, a 20-year-old Warden man in Grant County Superior Court, with assault in the second degree and unlawful possession of a firearm in the second degree. A Moses Lake police officer reportedly spotted a vehicle that failed to signal a lane change. After the vehicle stopped on Dogwood Street, Ramirez allegedly got out and began running to McCosh Park. He allegedly drew a .38 caliber Ruger pistol, pointed it at the officer, then threw the gun over the fence into the water park and stopped running. Police found the gun. Ramirez has previous convictions for narcotics and riot while armed in 2012. In Northwest news, Seattle Mayor Ed Murray is proposing a phase-in of an increase in the city's minimum wage to $15 an hour over the next 7 years. Businesses with greater than 500 employees nationally will have at least 3 years to phase in the increase. Smaller organizations will have 7 years, with the new wage including a consideration for tips and health care costs over the first 5 years. Once the $15 wage is reached, future increases will be tied to the Consumer Price Index. Murray had this to say this afternoon.
Seattle, I think, will prove itself when this process is finished in council to once again be an incubator of democracy, to be a city that once again does great things by showing how we as a city can lead the conversation in the nation to address this growing problem in our society, the growing problem of income inequality.
The plan now goes to the City Council for discussion. Washington State already has the nation's highest minimum wage at $9.32 an hour. Murray made raising the minimum wage a campaign promise last year. King County Superior Court Judge Mary Yu has been appointed to the Washington State Supreme Court, becoming the first gay justice as well as the first Asian American to serve on the state's high court. Yu was appointed by Governor Jay Inslee today. She replaces Justice James Johnson, who announced his retirement last month due to health issues. Johnson's last day on the bench was yesterday. Yu was appointed to the King County Superior Court by former Governor Gary Locke, and she's the first Supreme Court justice appointed by Inslee, who took office in January of 2013. To keep the seat, she will have to run for election in November. When the state's first gay marriages started taking place around the state in December of 2012, she officiated the first King County marriage just after midnight. A California woman describes the scene inside her home as a real-life version of the Alfred Hitchcock classic, The Birds. For CNN, Alina Abovian reports.
This is a scene from the 1960s cult classic, The Birds. And here's a scene from outside Shirley Brown's Exeter house.
I mean, they come out of nowhere, and then they're here, and there's like 200 or 300 of them. Yeah, I screamed a couple of times because the birds are, you know, you're doing this and dodging them because they're scared too. I mean, it was amazing.
Shirley says that when she walked in on Friday, the birds were everywhere. They were in her kitchen, behind this TV, underneath the couch, up on the ceiling fans, nearly 70 birds flying loose inside her home.
I think the most horrified was how they got in and then the mess that they were making while they were here, because birds are scared and they're pooping.
To clean up, Shirley fired up her vacuum.
But when I did that, I scared them, obviously, and they were flying out of the chimney. And so we were just chasing birds all for about an hour. It was nuts. So I just assumed they were trying to get away from the storm that we had Friday night.
But since Friday, Shirley says they've been back every night around 8 like clockwork. And it makes sense that the birds are here. Here's a look at the black swift bird. Typically during summer, they flock to California to mate.
I'm thinking with the weather change and everything, they'll go away. So I hope.
And while this won't be making Hollywood movie history, Shirley is certainly making history in her neighborhood. There are about 6 homes with chimneys on this block, but for some reason, the birds are picking this house and that chimney to go into. In Exeter, Alina Abovian, KMPH Fox 26 News.
And that's going to do it for us here at iFIBER 1 News. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.